Hello, GSL Smite League, and welcome back to another live stream. Today we're looking at a UD set from Pikachu eSports versus Goosedra. Pikachu eSports are probably the favourites today versus Goosedra as they're ahead in the table, but I believe it could be quite a close match. What do you think, Spock?
Yeah, I mean, as you've said, considering not finding as much success as Pikachu eSports have so far, but I have heard that they have had some good games, all going to 3 basically, so I am expecting a good fight. But maybe, as we have talked about before we went live, a messy 2-0 from Pikachu is probably what we will expect today.
Yeah, that's understandable. There's a lot of it's a new update, and I don't think every team understands what's exactly the meta right now, even though the SEC came out recently. So we believe a messy game,
Yeah, I
close
mean,
messy game.
I also kind of have to remedy something I said on the last cast we had. Crit does kind of suck.
Yeah, crit,
What can I
yeah,
say?
yeah.
You were right. I'm sorry.
That's right. I forgive you.
You forgive me. That's nice. Thank you. But yeah, with that, we will go into picks and bans, I do believe. What do you expect to see? Anything changing from 2 days ago?
Probably quite a lot. So I think we now know a bit of a few of the metas. So Erlang Shen is good. Ravana's good. Fenrir is good. We're probably going to maybe look at Fafnir, Marty. Personally, I quite like an Anher. Are they ban worthy? I'm not sure. Alkong's even good. I think right now it's just a lot based on personal preference and comfort picks. I will say to the live stream there are no bans for some reason regarding they remade the lobby and they did a blind pick. So shout out to the live stream. But the first pick for Pikachu eSports looks to be Chablonke. Is that normal? Would you say, Spotfire?
I mean, that is still a very good pick, right? You can basically not be outboxed in lane, at least once you get to like level 5 and can clear wave a bit better. But depending on the support that Pikachu will pick up here, I do think that is a totally fine pick, as long as that support can help with the early clear a bit, maybe. But yeah, definitely the ultimate is so annoying late game, right? Like, if that is placed well when the enemy maybe is trying to engage or having a weird little back off retreat, that all can just really separate the team fight and help Pikachu eSports, just singling out targets, killing them. Meanwhile, on the other side, Baba Yaga and Achilles hovered.
Are you ready for me?
Yeah, you're right. So Achilles, honestly, he's had a lot of buffs recently. It seems to fit perfectly into the meta. I mean, I know I've had trouble with him in ranked. How you feel about him?
I do think he's nice. I have played one game as Achilles myself, and I didn't feel too impactful, if I'm going to be honest, but that might have also just been me. So I do think the 35% execute threshold definitely is a good buff for him. Items do favor, so I'm a little bit high on Achilles at least.
Okay, alright, so you think it's a good pick nonetheless. I mean, we've also, on the side of Goosedra, they've also got Baba Yaga. Personally, I think it's a good pick. As a mid laner, goes a bit tanky.
Yemoja's fury.
You've got Pikachu eSports picking up a Guan Yu and a Yemoja. Do you think Yemoja and Guan Yu still stand in this meta?
Oh, a lot of healing, so that will for sure help Pikachu eSports. Also, I mean, Baba can kind of get out of the Yemoja walls, the River's Rebuke, but Erlang Shen as well and Achilles are gonna be, easily caught in that. So yeah, I do think that is a good top 3 from Pikachu, but I also really like the Sheeters here, so no favors yet.
Okay, alright. Well, obviously right now there will be a few bans, but I think they'll probably be moving on. How do you think... oh, right, there you go. So it looks like Gooch is just picking up a Terra.
Mother Earth is here for you.
I think still to be one of the best supports in the game right now, right?
I mean, I can imagine it, right? She's got a lot of very good CC, if you can get the walls off, that is, but we have seen that in UD 2 days ago. I think there was a triple stun with the walls and stuff like that, so I have full trust that Goosedra will be able to utilize this Terra. Then again, healing mitigations from hold now too, right? With the healing changes. So yeah, it's definitely a good
king
no complaints at all. And the Marty making it through as well for Pikachu now. Do you have any favorites in this draft so far?
Oh, right. Well, I was going to say I love a bit of Gooch's comp there. You know, a bit of Terra. Erling Shen's one of my favorites right now. And Achilles and a Baba, that's a very strong team. But well, I haven't seen the bans, obviously, because
Time
of
to
what they did.
eat.
But to pick up a Marty this late in the game, they've got Jablonka and a Marty. I think that's going to go absolutely huge. Not too sure on the Bakasura. He was good last season, but how do you think the Bakasura is going to fare?
Now, in terms of damage, well, the Bakasura in general is just a good pick. But I'm a little bit worried about CC here, right? Pikachu, they have a Root and Marty, a stun and a slow, and I guess walls and Yem. And a stun and a slow from Guan Yu, but that's kind of it. I'm a bit worried that if the individual mechanics aren't 100% on point, Pikachu might have some trouble actually locking down targets and getting kills. Meanwhile, Goosedra, they have loads of CC. Like they will lock you down and they will likely kill you with a late game Jing Wei. Baba also still hurting so much, and then on top of that you have an execute. Yeah, I'm favoring Goosedra's comp here now.
Right. Okay, that's interesting because I'm loving a bit of Pikachu's right now. Though it does seem heavily on Yamoja's ult, so I hope they can do well on that. So who's your favorite out of these teams right here?
I mean, yeah, like I said, the comp, I definitely like Goosedra's more. If we look at standings, of course, we have to imagine that Pikachu has something going for them, be it mechanics or some other form of team play. Which we are hopefully about to see that as well. But yeah, as I said, I just think the CC is so important in Smite, and Pikachu eSports just don't have it.
Well, that's as long as they can get it off, because Pikachu's, where they lack in CC, they've got absolutely tons of damage, I think.
That is true. They also do have a lot of safety, right? Guan Yu will always be able to cavalry charge out or in, depending on what you need. Marta Chorus can just go into the air like that and be untargetable. Yem with her Riptides will definitely provide some safety, so maybe you are right. Maybe Goosedra will have some trouble actually finding that lockdown, but I do think it's much easier for them to do so.
Yeah, so that'll be it for picks and bans. Just like to introduce everyone. So we've got Sparkfire on Desk 1, Omega on Desk 2. But they're go into the game. You'll have Chair 1 as Dilo and Chair 2 as Matlock. So going into the game, I'll give it over to them.
Thank you very much there, guys. Omega and Sparkfire for you. I'm D-Lo here for the GSL game, joined here by Matlock, Pikachu eSports versus Goosedra. Looking to see, can we cut off the heads of the Hydra? You know, if you take off one, don't take off the others. Two more just go back. Matt, how are we feeling?
I am seeing two very different paced play styles out of these teams. Goosedra with the Erlang and the Achilles, I think, are going to be quite early game focused. Erlang, we always said they try and put their foot down early and push it through. And in the solo lane, Achilles with that execute is really going to have an easier time getting that kill against the Guan Yu. Meanwhile, Guan Yu not so much going to have an easier game in the pressure. Meanwhile, on Pikachu, they have a Bakasura, which is just late game.
You have that.
It's the god of late game. Same with the double hunter comp. That means they're going to be looking forward to burn these objectives and these structures quickly. So I think it's more so if Goosedra do not get a lead in this early game, it's going to go towards Pikachu. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it's a solid one for sure. I mean, Guan Yu, not certainly known for his early game pressure. If Achilles can manage to get the leg up, maybe get some blue buff steals, could be a massive boon to put them ahead. Dual lane matchup here, though, an interesting one. We mentioned that, Terra, obviously a threat throughout the entire Season of Hope. How do we think she fares, though, in the Season of Souls?
I think she's transitioned beautifully into this season still. It's not so much as a strong healer meta now. Some of that was changed with the recent XP changes, but with the amount of CCC provides, it's still a very good pick, as well as the protection buff that her third ability does give. Yamoja still is a good counter to that, because it's always going to be a good. Yamoja is just always good. That's what I'm trying to say here. Yamoja, she's had like 30 nerfs, like 2 buffs, and even then she's still a top support just because of what that Riptide can bring. And that Riptide into this comp of an Achilles, a Erlang, a Terra, they're going to have a difficult time escaping from these walls, so I'm hoping we're going to see a Phantom Cell picked up here.
Instead, we're going to be seeing the walls come right onto the head of the Shibalanke. Going to be a bit of poke here in the dual lane. It seems that in the solo and the duo, both extreme lanes, solid amount of action to be seen here. Absolutely, though, the Terra is certainly a good pick. That Monolith, there it is right there, being picked up. Going to ensure not only some sustain, but also a bit more protection for you. In fact, they're just juking behind it, basics being traded for it. Meanwhile, though, first blood here in the solo lane, going to go to Rollins, thanks to the gank from Bakasura. Returned right on back, though. Going to find the kill in return on the Shibalanke. Damage across all the maps here. It's 1-1. First blood, though, will indeed go to Pikachu. It will go to Pikachu.
The first blood be on the Guan Yu. The first blood, whether it had to go on the Erlang or the Guan Yu. Erlang wanted that first blood. He needs to get online quicker, but he was just too slow. Bakasura made the long walk around. Achilles got trapped out. And so Guan was able to secure a kill. If it did go to the Bakasura instead, naturally that would be a lot better. But I still think denying that first blood to Erlang Shen trumps all discussion on who it should have gone to in the end. Still good by Goosedra to immediately equalize the pressure. Like, they just went to the side lanes. That's what they wanted to do, and maybe that speaks volumes as to where they are thinking their pressure is going to come through. Bakasura went all the way to solo because Achilles is going to have a lot more easy time against Guan Yu, so it helps alleviate that pressure. And then Scroll went over to Duoside because Yamoja is just going to be a lot more of a CC menace, and X-Ball is just going to have an easier time clearing early game versus this. Damn, I've forgotten her name. That's not good. I've actually forgotten her name. Jingwei. That's it. I actually
there's a lot of female gods on that team. Was not sure which one you're going for.
Yeah, no, Jingwei does not have good early clear compared to the X-Ball, even though X-Ball is mana hungry. But yeah, so good application of pressure there.
Well, we're seeing a bit of aggression as the invade on the Pearl buff might not go quite your way. Erlong with the rotation. 4-man here as Baba Yaga joins the fight. Have to imagine the Servant, unfortunately, going to be falling soon there. A bit too aggressive for your own good. Didn't have your carry with you. Going to spell the second kill there for Goosedra.
Yeah, it's a good play by Servant there to sort of put pressure and force the Goosedra duo lane to pull their buffs back. But once that has been done, you need to get out there. Servant unfortunately stayed there a bit too long, and Scroll was able to walk from mid over there. So good attempt by Servant, but just a bit too long.
Unfortunate there. I appreciate the early pressure they're trying to make, because it's like you said, if Goosedra is able to put on this early game pressure, continue it, not let Pikachu rise from the dirt, could spell some trouble. So in that sense, though, the Bakasura pick is one I really like, because like you said, rotating over the solo lane where Guan Yu could certainly use the extra help. It's going to be easy to secure those mana buffs for yourself, and that at least keeps Guan Yu at the very least neutral, if not ahead, thanks to that first bloody game at the beginning.
Yeah, indeed. Bakasura, as we know, is the god of farming, and Achilles having execute is just going to make it difficult, but if you can cripple him down so he can't get his step ability online, just means you can shred down Achilles a lot more easier. Blue buff is going to be crucial to the Guan Yu, well, to both solos, so if Bakasura can play a role in both securing it and stealing it, that's going to go down brilliantly.
Erlong here we're seeing being a bit aggressive in the solo lane, going to take some farm there from Bakasura. Might not be the god of farm quite now, but sneaking up behind him. Watch out, buddy. Some Butcher Blades for you. Going to be sneaking him up with the basics. Decent damage here. Trying to continue the aggression, though. Level lead over Challengers, so not a fight he really wants to pick. Gonna have to retreat on back his Scroll. But now the return to the farming gauge is here. We're just having some farming wars. We're playing Farmville right now. And it seems that Varus is going to look to win that one. Guan Yu here, they're off the cavalry charge, going to be engaging heavily. Nine-Tail Blessing, River's Rebuke, going to be trying to pour the damage onto the Erlong Shen. Will they find it? Servant going to return the kill from his death earlier. Execute, though, is on the mark. Double potentially, not going to quite find on the Bakasura. Regurgitate going to be countering it. And that is going to be a second kill there for this fight. But instantly brought back down thanks to the rotation from the Baba Yaga. The mids are here, but unfortunately, Survivor Demon, their contribution will not be quite as felt.
That fight could have gone so much more better if Achilles was just able to die a bit more quickly in that fight right there. Well, sorry, if Erlang was able to die more quickly, but they had to dedicate more time to killing that Erlang who was trapped in the River's Rebuke. And unfortunately, that just gave the Achilles and the Baba Yaga and the Terra more time to rotate in. So, good initiation by, good plan by Bakasura. They didn't use the ultimate when they were 1v1ing Erlang Shen in their solo lane. They immediately went to get farm, outcleared that. Then they decided to use the ultimate, and Yamato with a fantastic rotation in. Unfortunately, it was just too close towards the Goosedra's base, made it easier for people to rotate in and collapse it. And ever since the 10.6 changes, if those 10.6 changes weren't in place, Scroll would have died a lot more quicker there, but he didn't. So it's just that case of still it's a 2v2 fight, equalizes out, Pikachu still pulling ahead in terms of farm. So overall, I think a very good fight by both teams.
Look at the scoreboard right now, 7 minutes in. 3 to 4 on the kills. But, like Matt just said here, we do indeed have Pikachu with a slight gold lead. XP saying the same story. It's minor at this point. One fight can really bring Goosedra back into it, but gotta feel good. You have level leads there on the Guan Yu, which, like we said, if you don't get that early game pressure off, you're kind of not really fulfilling the purpose of this comp. Could be an issue here as we see some rotations. Could be some more aggression over the farm, but this time, maybe deciding after how the last one went, Varus not quite wanting that smoke. Gonna be using the ultimate there to put him down in the dirt. Gonna use airstrike in response, get some safety here for the carries.
Yeah, and both teams are rotating over, sensing blood in the water. Erlingson goes
blessing
in with
here,
the
gonna be
ultimate.
found. This could be some solid damage. Gonna taunt him on in, bring him right back out. Gonna be saving a sliver of health. Impressive. Varus, though, he wants it. Gonna be finding a stone wall to meet him in there. Martikaraz lurking from the grass. Not gonna quite be able to find too much poke. Always seeming to arrive just a moment too late to these fights.
That was a glorious whip time right there by Yamato. X-Ball was not getting out any other way unless he got that assist back to him.
Blink on in here, regurgitate on down. Yak attack there for Varus. Gonna take down IM4. Jingwei not gonna be able to fly away out of that one. Unfortunately, the airstrike being down was certainly a factor in that death.
Bakasaur, ever hungry, knows that Jingwei stepping up that side of the was enough, and oh no.
Some trouble here in the shield camp. It'd be a bit of a spot of bother. Riptide, not going to be a factor at the very least. Dutcher's going to get out this time.
Yeah, and the sort of hunters aren't even fully stacked yet. Once that Transcendence and Devour's Gauntlet is finished up, that's just going to be a massive... Well, it's not a massive power spike, but it's going to be... This Multi-Chorus, once we get to like 12 minutes, I reckon, is going to start outputting a lot of damage. So... And that's the sort of thing, as I said, Pikachu is very late game because of the Bakasaur in itself, but also because of its double hunter sort of route they've chosen. There seems to be a skirmish now going on.
You see an actual blue buff steal against a Bakasura? Crazy. What game is this? That's simply not allowed. You shouldn't have fixed this god. If you're getting one buff dropped against you, you are not playing Baka, my friend. Var is going to be feeling the pain on that one. Roland as well. Unfortunate, but some solid aggression from Goosedra. I like the fact that they're not keeping themselves down in the dirt. They're going to continue the aggression despite being a bit down in this early engagements. And now, scoreboard being 4-4 here, only 1,000 gold lead. Pikachu, they're trying to close that gap.
Yeah, it's still definitely either team's games. Pikachu with 1k lead, but at 10 minutes of 1k lead is not a lot. Let's be honest, that's probably very evenly spread amongst the team, so that's probably only an extra like ward or two between them all. So it's nothing to really say, oh no, it's the end. But I'm keen to see, because it's 2 minutes away now, is the Stygian Beacon being spawned.
Yes.
I'm keen to see which teams are prioritizing it, because with the double hunter build they've gone, I would expect Pikachu to be eager to get those buffs, because being able to kill those towers much more quickly with double hunters already, they could just demolish any lane they set down, even the one that has the Unleashed Titans go through. So I'm hoping Pikachu focus on this Stygian Beacon, but there's only one way to find out, really.
There's a really good point there in that the double hunter comp makes it a natural good choice for you to go for those. But I also have another question. I'm going to bounce it right back to you. So the objective of the Stygian Beacon is so unique because it's not about damage and control and secure in the form of damage that comes in a large burst like a Scylla ult. It's actually coming from space control. When it comes to that, who do you think has the leg up?
Oh, that is a good question, because Pikachu eSports don't have a lot of aerial denial. They have the Yamato that does do a good job of it. Well, sorry, they have two people that are very good at aerial denial.
Hold on a second. My friend, I apologize. Cavalry Charge going to be falling here onto Plasma's head. Could be the execute here to get on his way on out. If he's able to, going to be executed himself in turn. And that was a little bit of a soul surge there to commemorate the event. Going to be falling is the solo lane of Goosedra. Sorry, return to your point.
No, it's okay. And he ulted by the end there, so now that's going to be down for another 70 seconds or so. But yeah, Uh-oh.
Gonna be caught out there, the Rising Jaguar. That's always gonna ensure your safety. And in the mid lane here too, though, death from above, death from all sides. House won't protect you from this airstrike. Dot damage might be able to finish it. Not quite. He lives with a sliver. Gonna be thanking his lucky stars is the blonde boy.
30 seconds till it spawns in. As I'm going to say, Multicourse and Emotes are very good at aerial denial. Baba Yaga and Terra probably equalize it a bit. So I think it's just going to be more so which team gets there first and sets up the defense. Because I think defending with these teams is going to be a lot better than attacking.
Look at the attack here from Goosedra, just continuing to take it all the way to the back of their jungle, but now taking it to the back of the duo lane. Could be in some trouble as Varus gonna have to treat on out using the leap defensively. You do still have some Ohm on the side of the Timoja. Servant probably going to use that to get his way on out speedily. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Stygian Beacon is up. And it's really only a priority of 2 people, and that's just the mid laners. The question is between these 2 who gets it. Meanwhile, Terra scrapping a bit with Bakasura. It seems that no one's quite intent on if they want to focus on the fight or if they want to focus on the Beacon. Rivers of Butte can make that decision very clear for you. We're going to focus on the Terra. She's going to fall first. 4 members strong now here in the mid lane. Erlong Shen posting up behind. He cares about these buffs a lot, but Varus just cares about souls. Gonna find Blonde Boy there in the tower and order. Pikachu eSports will secure that first beacon. It's just like you said, man. They really are prioritizing it above Goosedra, maybe because of that natural comp. But now, could be in some trouble. Might be regretting that decision. The green buff not going to save you from a Articuraz. Squirrel going to retreat on out with that turtle form.
Pikachu seems to have one keen plan at the moment, and it's working well, is get 1 or 2 people, lock them down with Rivers Rebuke, and just shred them down with Marty, X-Ball, and Bakasura. And so I really hope we get this Phantom Shell online soon for Goosedra, because that is going to change the outcome of these fights, I reckon, a lot. Another weird thing I was just looking at before that fight started was Skull's pathing towards that fight. He was at the Orders Red, went round between Tier 2 and Phoenix mid, past some buffs, then up to Oracle. So it's just like...
Dude wants farm.
He didn't even stop to farm because I think he wanted to go farm, but then realized, oh, the beacons are up, there's a fight happening, I need to go. And so then he went back round there, and then just, because of his beak, just has to be like, okay, I guess I'm walking back.
Guess I'll get a green buff here.
So it just felt like he walked for like 90 seconds around and just wasted more time farming. Meanwhile, Bakasura gets like a few more souls to eat.
Dude's got a Fitbit on right now. He's trying to get them steps in, it seems.
Yeah.
I mean, Varus has been clearly putting the work when it comes to just bursting down. What are you jumping for, friend? That is a Bakasura with Butter Blades. Not going to quite find too much damage there, thanks to the Monolith. Solo lane, haven't seen too much action since the early game. This mana buff has seen far more action than Roland's has. Because constantly being invaded, we're now seeing that early pressure we discussed in full force here. Now Pikachu going to put the pressure onto this dual lane, though. Jingwei caught between, going to be able to dodge the Moonstrike at the very least. Bouncing bubble.
Yeah, Emotes are looking to his rebuke, but it's just waiting for Jingwei to put the ult up. And it's, like I said, there's not much actually going in the solo at the moment, just because it's now at the point where the kill potential between the solos aren't going to be a lot, but it's going to be a gold Fury.
And it's going to be dropping down quickly here. eSports having the focus and the drive just burst that one down. Now Cavalry Charge, they're not even poked out. They're fine to take this fight. Poked out, in fact, is Dutcher. Gonna have to use the Earth and Raise there, trying to get his way on out. Not gonna be successful. Varus gonna find that kill. River Duke gonna catch one, just as Matlock said. Death from above gonna be being sure this kill.
Oh.
Solid damage, collapsed with 5. Nowhere to go but the fountain. Plasma gonna fall as well, making that 2 down on the side of Goosedra, as well as the Fury.
Yeah, just they recognize, oh, the team is Goosedra is spread, we can do this quickly, and with a double Hunter Bakasura, any objective is falling quickly. You would not see that and reckon, oh, that's a 15-minute team. Like, they are shredding that down fast, and Goosedra just caught with their pants down, unaware of how quickly that the Pikachus can do it. And then they engage, and the team is still so spread. Terra is able to be picked apart. Then Achilles is also there. I reckon probably a bit of miscommunication. Thought this was going to be a full-blown team fight, so went towards the backline. But then, unfortunately, just kept on being tossed around by the CC. Tried to escape, but a beautiful Riptide keeps him in the fight for that extra bit longer and causes another loss of life. So I think there's good recognition by Pikachu eSports, understanding their own powers at the moment with being able to just shred down what they can.
They're definitely cognizant of their abilities here when it comes to the double hunter comp. Must be that the Pyromancer did drop also on this side here for Goosedra. So they're managing to make some comebacks here when it comes to the objectives, trying to keep themselves in this game here 16 minutes in. It's 45k to 40, so 5k deficit, but might be a greater deficit in the kill department. Dutcher finding himself constantly in these engagements where he just keeps getting poked out. Terra, of course, able to heal, but not quite where you want to be, half health just from one engagement.
No, but it's also getting to the point where Terra is quite far behind. I think it's still in place. I can't remember if it got changed in the 10.6 buff, but he's 4 levels down from a lot of the people on Pikachu. So killing him is not actually gonna give Pikachu a lot. It's more so just gonna be you're in the grayscale more so than we have golden XP from it. So I think it's fine to scare him away and just shred him down and let him leave. But ultimately, we'll see.
Hold on a second. Seeing quite the engagement here right by the purple camp. Dual lanes now where the pressure's all at. River's Rebuke going to be catching 2, but they're just going to walk on out, no problem. Darkest of Nights, though, might find a problem for yourself. Scroll, if you don't get out of there, those branching bolas do quite a bit of damage. Poked on out, but does have the Ninetale Blessing, so can heal up should he need to. Get on the side just to let the tier 1 go. A decision I agree with, certainly. Pikachu Esports, where they started off putting that pressure, as you said, Matlock, to the solo lane to try to ensure that Guan Yu didn't get behind. We're now seeing a lot of ganks here on the dual lane, and Goosedra is managing to just continue to secure the blue buff. Do we agree with Pikachu's decision to focus and shift their attentions here to the dual lane side?
I think it's giving your Guan Yu more of an ability to push down the Achilles. Because if you're fighting in dual lane, you're telling the enemy Achilles, okay, you can either teleport over, or you try and fight the person you're already like 1.5 levels behind. And that's a difficult call to make. So I think splitting push down that way is going to make it even easier to sort of do the Furies and the Stygian Beacons, which is about to open up soon.
Yep.
Hopefully we're going to see a bit more of a grouping around that. But yeah, so at this point, I think they don't want to do a Fire Giant yet because Baba Yaga is still going to be quite, not an expert at stealing, but is still, you don't want to do a 5v5 around the Fire Giant yet. So just being able to put pressure where you can and putting that down to a lane, I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it.
Stygian Beacon now available to capture. Seems that Pikachu Esports cool with this because they're just going to stand there uncontested. Only one there is Dutcher, and they are not intent. It seems that their priorities certainly are not on the Stygian Beacon. It's an unknown rogue element. I understand that, but at the same time, it's like you said, Matlock, it's also something that just aids them to continue to burst down these Oni Furies. But hold on, burst down itself, Demon, taking to the skies. Could be in some trouble, retreating to the waiting on his team, but might be in execute range. Doesn't need to even scroll, gonna find that first kill. Now just retreating on back with what they have. Small victory here for Goosedra. They need to just take their win and leave because they stand to lose a lot more if they stick around for too long.
Yeah, Marty sort of stepping up, but I don't think recognised that his team was going towards Fury and then just got picked apart because of it. Didn't use his Aegis, recognised a good call, but we do see a Pyromancer fight now.
And it's very low. River's Rebuke going to be dropped here. Pikachu Esports going to drop that one as well. Drop Dutcher along with it. Nice. We'll take those. Gilly's going to just execute his way on out. Solid decision there, just to use that defensively. No one was anywhere near execute range. There was no point. And again, Pikachu Esports, the longer these fights drag on, the more they stand to win. It seems that Goosedra just keeps getting picked off one by one. Like you said, the lockdown from Pikachu is very potent between River's Rebuke and the Regurgitate. They need to find a way, Goosedra, to cohesively attack 5-man strong.
Yeah, I was thinking it's very much if Goosedra can survive that initial like 4-second burst where it's the River's Rebuke up, where it all focuses on one person. If they can survive that and then step forwards, I think it can go very well for Goosedra. The problem is once those River's Rebuke goes up, they are scattering like the wind. They are like, oh god, that person's dead. We're running. It's like you have a Phantom Cell and an Ankh. If that Phantom Cell and Ankh is used, those River's Rebuke are basically pointless. I think once Goosedra gets that in their head, they can be able to push forward more easily.
Oh my gosh. The Moonstrike stun lock is crazy here. Death from above what seemed like a normal scrap soon became a perilous endeavor for Dutcher. Keeps finding himself too far up here. Gonna take a little trade to the grass, romp through it real quick. But now, rotation here from Achilles. Will it do much though? Not quite. These grass in the mid lane is going to be annoying. It must be noted. Just having the ability to just kind of traipse through there undetected, be able to toss out basics and acid rain from a hidden location, it's an underrated thing, and it's going to be especially annoying for this Fire Giant dance. But it doesn't matter if it's not a dance at all. Can't dance with anyone but yourself. Pikachu Esports dropping this rather quickly. Are you just going to go for the green buff this time is the question, Scroll. You have to do something. Not going to elect to do anything. eSports going to drop that. Now, Guan Yu on the offensive. No friends quite yet to join. Emoja here. But at the very least, they've grabbed the Fire Giant. No contest. Here, 21 minutes in. It's now a staggering gold lead. XP lead says the same thing. 11 kills to 5. And it's looking quite rough. What can Goosedra do, Matlock, to get back in this game?
I think they're going to need to play strong around these Phoenix Eaters. It's going to be difficult. You have a double hunter comp with a lot of Stygian buffs. It's going to be difficult, but they're just going to need to hope that the Pikachu overextended trying to get a kill. They fail. It's 10k difference. It's not a point where they need Pikachu to fail, but
that was the best time ever to be possible. Ninetale blessing. It's not a blessing for you though, my friend. You're gonna be sent back to Fountain. Scroll gonna be the first to fall, thanks to Varus. Execute can be blocked. Not quite this time. Phoenix now being sieged under, but not quite their intent just yet. Maybe so. Cavalry charge. Speed's gonna have to match it from the Baba Yaga. Death from above. Raining down some solid damage. Achilles low. Doesn't have the ult to boot. Varus gonna find a kill. Krakatoa as well. Double kill there. Extended triple kill. We'll give it to you, Varus. Solid work to the Bakasura alongside the X-Ball. 4 people down. Looks like they're just intent on ending it. Pikachu spelling doom for Goosedra game 1. Stygian Beacon's charging. Doesn't matter. We got 2, buddy. It's all we need. Pikachu gonna take this one.
I think this is what happened towards a later point was Goosedra could not step up at all. They would just keep on having to walk back and back and back. That's why Pikachu were probably able to get that Fire Giant so easily. Goosedra was not able to step up and put any wards down on that side of the jungle. So I think it's just Goosedra had a bit of an early game. They were trying to get it online, but Varus managed to play that sort of Bakasura early game beautifully and got quite a few more kills than an early game backer probably should. But I think another big component has been these Rivers Rebuke and these Riptides out of Servant. Those set up a lot of kills for that team. Probably, it was absolutely spectacular. So, I think a big shout out there to Servant, who set up a lot for that team right there.
They had a vision and they executed on it. Gonna have to see if they can do it a second time or if Goosedra, 1 head cut off, 2 more might grow back. Gonna have to see. We'll toss it to the desk for now, but thank you for watching game 1. Don't go anywhere. More to come.
Okay, well, welcome to Oscar then. How wrong can one man be, Omega, huh? How wrong can I be?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've gotten crit wrong, you've gotten the teams wrong. I told you. What did I say? Right. The damage was there, and all they had to do was go off this Umoja. And what can I say? i7, I think, absolutely popped off. I think every single Umoja was really good. I mean, look at his damage. You got 9k, even though he's a support in such a short game. It was a really good game. I mean, Varus did absolutely amazing. 9-1-5 Bakasura, 23-minute game. Really good by Pikachu.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I am a little bit confused as to how it went that way, because Goosedra, they had such a good first 5 minutes, right? You see Scroll getting active really well, and then he just disappears. All he ever went for past those 5 minutes were blue buffs and like camp invades. And that's weird to me, because you picked this Erlang, right? Surely you must have had some aggression in mind, some early game pressure, no?
Yeah, well, with the Erlang Shen, he does really well. I'd probably just throughout the whole game. But against a Bakasura, I think he's probably struggling. And he recognised that, well, fed Bakasura, he just can't beat. So he decided to try and keep up with farm. It's something every jungler has done. Every jungler probably will do, and it's a good call. I don't think Scroll kind of realised how well Pikachu was gonna do, kind of pushing their way in, and all of a sudden just sweeping their team and taking a Titan. It doesn't normally happen. It normally goes on for quite a long game. So this is something quite new, refreshing almost. So I don't think it was a bad call. Though I think the other team probably should have played a bit more safer, and then and just not tied to the Bakasura.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it probably wasn't a bad call. I feel like there was just nothing in general you were going to do about this Bakasura. It was just a bit too strong, too early, which you really don't want to see if you're up against it. But yeah, Pikachu were so good at just pushing that lead. Like they get pressure somewhere, you're gonna be sure that they are gonna push for something on that side of the map. Then we see how much farm Krakatoa has just been, fed by the rest of his team. That's why actually Servant was behind for a while of this game, because he just let his team farm without taking any for himself. And I think that paid off, because Krakatoa was just, I think, at a point 3 or 4 levels ahead, and that just meant that Pikachu could basically take Gold Furies and Tier 1 towers on that side of the map for free, catapulting their gold leads so far ahead that, to be fair, I don't think it really would have mattered what Scroll had done if he had decided to gank more or just farm like he did. The game
No,
was probably over.
No, I don't think it's on scroll, but I would say that Pikachu, well, really, they almost had a perfect game. I probably would have said, the support allowed the ADC to take all the camps solo, get ahead. That allowed them to get a lot more objectives, more dominantly, easier, quicker, which really just allowed them to get Phoenixes and then burst the Titan at the end. And I thought it was really good how they've got a little, they had a little lead. They knew they could win team fights, and normally you just kind of walk around, just farm up and make sure that oh, I can win the team fight. I'll take the objective here. No, their objective wasn't a Gold Fury, it wasn't a Pyro, it was a tower, or another tower, or a Phoenix, or a Fire Giant. It was lots of small little things which they just really kind of abused, and their farming was perfect.
Yeah. No, Pikachu really just pushing everything they could to squeeze every bit of gold out of anywhere they could, as you said. But that will be it for game 1. Stick around, we will be back with game 2 of this set after just a short break. Welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 of Goosedra versus Pikachu eSports. My name is Sparkfire. I'm still joined by Omega with Soulstore on production as we go into, well, only picks for Game 2 as we on the cast are being trolled by the players. It is remade lobby again, so we will just go through the picks. Omega, what do you think has to be changed here so Goosedra can take this back?
Right, yeah, so it looks like Pikachu had an amazing game, just so I said. But I think Goosedra probably needs to have maybe a bit more early game. Bit more early game, bit more damagey comp just to deal with Pikachu. They seem like they like to take fights. They're good at fighting, as we can see, and I think Goosedra needs to kind of react to that. Maybe not pick a team where they can't be scared, where rather than running away, they can head right into them and possibly win a team fight. I think that's the only way they can get ahead.
I mean, for the more damage, the Hachiman will definitely work out, though I do think... well, actually, Jingwei's early game is kind of rough, isn't it? So the Hachiman is definitely an improvement over that, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Jingwei's a very late game team fight, pretty much crit as well. So it's more of a safe option. However, she actually got counterpicked by Bakasura. I know about the Jingwei ult and the Bakasura. However, if you're caught by the emoji ult, you have to Jingwei ult out, and then you can easily get caught by the Baka. So I think the Jingwei had a pretty rough matchup there. But Ahachi should do much better early game, just damage-wise, lane-wise.
Jury and executioner.
Yeah, for sure. On the other side, Pikachu eSports, they run back the Emoja. Makes perfect sense. It worked out very well. And an Ishtar to complement that duo lane. Any thoughts on it? I think it's rather standard, actually.
Yeah, pretty standard. I mean, we don't know what the bans are. I would have maybe liked to see a Chablonke. It did really well. Or a Marty. Again, can't see the bans. But I think Ishtar's a very good ADC nonetheless. Very good in lane, good for the 1v1. So I think it would do well.
Interesting enough, Goosedra not picking anything that can easily escape the Yemoja walls. Do we expect to get at least 2 Phantom Shells then, or do you think it's not going to be a problem this game with Cabra and Tyr locked in as to run at the top 3?
When I'm going to Yemoja or an Odin, one of those kind of gods, I like have a double shield, just to be safe, make sure that you can't get easily picked by them. But we'll just have to see. This Cabrakan is a very interesting pick. I haven't seen him played in comp in absolutely, I don't know, years. So it's interesting. However, Cabrakan could still go jungle. Might be a bit spicy, but I wouldn't hate it.
I mean, I personally am a Cabrakan enjoyer, so I very much I endorse this, be it in support, solo, or jungle. Though I personally did used to play it in jungle, not in jungle, in solo. Sorry. Other side again, Pikachu, this time picking up the Erlang, not leaving it for Goosedra, not that they did particularly much with it. I'm a bit worried that Pikachu will actually be able to use this Erlang early a lot better than Goosedra kind of did.
I think it depends on what Goosedra pick here, honestly. I think Goosedra needs
Gilgamesh
to be a jungler
incoming!
who can shut down an Erlang for his early gameplay and his mid gameplay. Maybe an Ao Kuang's pretty nice. I think Erlang does well into an Ao Kuang. But I think Ao Kuang does really well into Erlang. It just depends on how you play. I personally think.
Try and keep up!
That does look like possibly a Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh jungle. Not too sure how that matches up against Erlang. Haven't played too much Gilgamesh myself against him. But I think can do well. I would say it's a bit of a spicy pick. Not too bad though, but pretty good nonetheless.
I mean, it can definitely work. I can see it, but I do think against Erlang, as long as Erlang has beats available, I think he's gonna win the 1v1 every single time. Then to round out Goosedra's draft, we also have a Thoth, which I personally don't think is too great into what Pikachu has picked so far. You've got this big cripple on Ishtar, you've got the big walls on Yem, you've got a Hercules that can run you down. Though, to be fair, I guess you can dash away from him fairly easily. I'm just a bit worried this Thoth is going to be sat on.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this sloth either, honestly. I think gets a bit ruined by the Ishtar, the Emoja. I think Erling does well into him. I think maybe even Hercules does pretty decent. So I think Thoth might have a better matchup into Discordia in lane, but Discordia is known to be very good right now. So I think Discordia might come out on top overall. But nonetheless, you know, these UD players here, they know their gods, they know how to play their lanes. But it does seem like Goosedra has picked quite a damaging team in the right kind of, you know, requirements met. But is it enough compared to Pikachu eSports? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, with both teams having fully drafted, which composition do you actually prefer here?
Based on what I know, meta, good team. I think Pikachu's. I think it's Pikachu's draft here.
Yeah, I do totally agree. But with that, we can go into game 2. So we're going to throw it over to Matlock and Dilo to bring us the action.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, lads at the desk. Welcome back to Game 2 here at the GSL. Goosedra now on the side of Order. Pikachu on the side of Chaos, the antagonist of this one, looking to put down Goosedra. I'm Dilo, joined here by Matlock. Matlock, how are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I think one of the lessons we learned from Game 1 is Goosedra needs to be a bit less passive. They need to be able to put their foot on the pedal. And I think having a Tyr, Gilgamesh, and Thoth, and a Cab even, well, heck, I'll say Hatziel, all of them want to just push it down. They all just want to W key. They all just want to try and put their damage forward. And they can do, and the Thoth can easily do that from Vayne, so it'll be a bit easier to pick people off. However, I really like this Pikachu draft. I think Erlangsen, once again, if he gets good early, he's going to do fine, especially because he's got that blink, so his initiation is going to be sorted. The Discordia, more so because of the passive. If that goes on the Erlang, everyone has to fear this jungle. If that goes on the Herc, Tyr is probably going to have enough time. Like, I'm keen to see who's going to get this early damage spike in order to get this Discordia buff and just absolutely decimate their opponents. Once again, we see Servant on the Emoja, and I'm a massive fan of that from Game 1, so I'm keen to see how it's going to do again, especially because there's a Tyr for like people that do not do good against these moves.
Hold on, big damage here in the mid lane. Could be found. The first blood onto Pikachu would be a nice boon for them, given that the first blood reached Pikachu first. Not going to quite find it, though. Turtle form, 72 transformations. That's all of the ones you need to get that shield going. I'm going to be able to evade it for now. Oh, but meanwhile, the solo lane, the minions, arrow to the heart, gonna find Rollins this time. You're not lucky, don't have the jungle to help you out. First blood gonna go on the solo lane to Goosedra.
Yeah, let's get all gold.
Could be some trouble. Evade and punish is the name of the game. Can they find it, though? Aggression galore here in the mid lane. Errant Magic might be able to get the last bits of it. Not quite. Drop kick, not gonna find its mark either, but still pushing it as Scroll. My God, will we ever get a second to breathe?
There is a lot of aggression in this game, and I think fair to it. Pikachu with the Surlang, they want to put pressure wherever the Surlang is, and then Goosedra, just like they are able to just with the artillery mage of Thoth, is just able to sort of counteract it. The solo fight there, I think that was just very much who hits what abilities and who hits it first, but may not be the case in this. Oh, God.
Dash into dash. They're just literally pushing each other up and down the field. It's a real tug-of-war scenario. Blink on in. Try to find that 72 formation. Might have won the turtle form there, buddy. One basic will do it, but instead it's going to be found there onto the Thoth, and that's unfortunate. It really was just a matter of who can land that one auto, and unfortunately, Pikachu going to even it up, find their way back onto the leaderboard.
It's an unfortunate miss there by Lanky Blonde Boy. Just means it is not able to confirm that kill. And yeah, it's real unfortunate. We've all been there where we miss something point blank. Like, we all just feel that shame. So, but it's still should be said, they are being aggressive still, and although the kill was dropped, they still had a lot of pressure to look for that kill in the first place. So I'm keen to see how that's going to continue on.
Do want to see, this is an interesting interaction, must be said. Kabrakan, of course, for these early game clear, your Tremors are very much reliant on your ability to channel that ability for as long as possible. Emoja, obviously the on-demand Moonstrike is not going to allow that to be an option.
No.
So it must be said it's going to be an annoying thing before the rotations begin for these supports here. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's almost like they heard you, it seems to me, because they are certainly putting on the aggression on the side of Goosedra, but now trying to return it here as Pikachu eSports. Dual lane, though, gonna have the safety at the very least. This Hachimon, of course, with the mounted archery, until the Rivers Rebuke comes out, is going to ensure some safety. But once it does, I really do fear for the members of this team.
I've just noticed something which is gonna make me scared for this mid game.
What you got?
Dutcher got Blink first, which is good because you want a Blink on the cab to be able to get the wall up. He is not gonna have Shell. No one has Shell for this Yemoja. This integral part of game 1, and I do not see a Shell. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I'm getting flashbacks. I am just like, I respect it. They want to go aggressive. If they can't get aggressive, Servant is just going to be running it down and putting these walls up, and they can do nothing about it.
That's scary, because even if they do get aggressive, you step up to me, I wall you. It's quite a simple equation. Could be in some trouble here. We need an Amber Alert, an all call put out. Have you seen this shell? We need it. It's been abducted.
No.
There you go. You're going to be paid back for it. It's going to at least, they're going to be able to just traipse on out the right way. Blaze Retribution. Going to be tossed back in the tower here. Hold on a second. That was an unfortunate dash. Eats the tower shot in return for it. The situation appeared far more perilous than it's become. Cavalry on the way here. Locked on in is Yemoja. Could be in some trouble here. The rotation from Erlong Shen. Gonna have the Rolling Thunder, but it's not quite enough there. Blonde Boy gonna be able to find the kill. Rotation quite a bit late from the Erlong Shen. Just gonna have to enjoy maybe the aftermath and that Soul Surge. Party on in that little circle.
I love the aggression there from Pikachu. They recognised they could put the Rivers Rebuke up. They did catch him up. Unfortunately, Istar pushed under tower. I would have liked it if he recalled the ult then, because that probably would have hit the stun onto Hachi, but then again had to retreat, and unfortunately, oh no.
In the Shamash could be in some trouble here. 72 transformations been used. World Trevor's being up the 9. Ill Blessing bails him out, gives him a kill firmly in his hands. Eagle Eye, the banner finds the last vestiges of damage. Excellent job there for 4. Gonna put up a kill for himself and also managed to get away to boot. That was an interesting engagement, and now Goosedra still in the lead on the kill board.
Yeah, Goosedra are answering aggression with aggression right here. They are making sure they're putting this fight in, and we can see, and as we saw there, the power of the early game Erlang. He can heal a bit longer to help finish off that kill. Unfortunately, he was not able to escape.
Oh my gosh! Blown up with off. Mid laner for mid laner might be the case here. Errant Magic not going to be enough for you there, buddy. Tried to get out, tried to be invis. Scroll not going to have it. Hero's Advance going to take that kill.
Yeah, just like good recognition. I think Foth stayed up a bit too, stepped up a bit too close, and just Discordia has Foth is the king of long range poke, but Discordia can also do it. So just a bit unfortunate right there.
It's been interesting to see the engagements between the junglers. It really, like I was saying earlier, I think Goosedra heard you, man, because they're pouring on the aggression. It's a far different team than we saw game 1, and I really appreciate that because it did feel like the aggression kind of slipped away. You might be in some trouble here, Dutcher. Getting stunned down, Riptide to block his path, dodging skillfully between them. What fantastic juke shoots! Come on, buddy. You do not waste your life after that amazing evasion of those Riptides. That was really fantastic.
Yeah, really good, and unfortunately, Pikachu themselves got sort of hurled back because of them. And I think also if that happened 10 seconds later, Rivers Rebuke would be up. But a good double stun.
Big damage here with the Blaze Retribution. Rivers Rebuke to match. Can you get out? You're forcing your way into the jungle though. Mounted Archery will at least be able to get him through the Hall of Doom, but now has to face against Varus and his scary dog. Banner gonna try to give him maybe a bit more damage, but it's only for the leaderboard just to pad your stats. Krakatoa gonna find that kill.
As I was saying, if the earlier fight happened 10 seconds sooner, Cab would have been caught out by the Rivers Rebuke. But because the Rivers Rebuke wasn't used then, it was used just as we saw now. Once again, capturing off, shutting out their escape towards tower. They have to go the long way round. And Hattie on his horse, you think that he'd be fast, but Erlang in that 72 transformations in that Mink form can catch right up quickly as well. So once again, we are just seeing this game is going to be determined by do these Rivers Rebuke land perfectly, and they're doing well so far.
Yeah, it's certainly been a solid showing. I mean, you're able to at least escape out of it that time if you're 4 with the mounted archery, but at that point, you have to use a lot of that uptime of the ability just to get out of the river. Now caught between the winds, though, could be in some trouble yourself. are the members here of Pikachu Esports. Gonna find the first kill onto the mid laner. Demon is down. Moonstrike there, not gonna save yourself, my friend. Servant, unfortunately, gonna fall. It's a nice double kill there in the mid lane for Goosedra. They're feeling solid about that, putting themselves once again back in the lead on kills.
Yeah, Goose being like, "Huh, you've got walls and they can help you a lot here." I think I've also got walls. And they are able to trap down that Yamota so they can't escape and able to do that much damage. But
trouble. He's been pushed back half a lane from the Fearless and Dropkick combination. He said, I was in Fountain, how'd I end up here? You're back there now, buddy. Thanks to the rotation from Blonde. That was crazy displacement.
Yeah, Goose are just putting the aggression. They are putting their foot on the
God.
gas. They are not putting it down. Like, they were too passive last game. And
oh,
I mean,
no,
the aggressive.
They do not care. I respect it, but you gotta be a bit careful here. Now, just across all the lanes, Pikachu trying to regain a bit of momentum back from what looks to be a new Goosedra. And here we see interesting kind of switch up here. Freaky Friday, Varus gonna be invading the blue buff now, but for the side of Pikachu Esports on their long shot.
Yeah, they're putting down the aggression, but what we also need to remember to keep note of is gold difference, which is only about a couple hundred right now.
Yeah,
like
that's very true.
If anything, XP is not a lot, but leaning towards Pikachu's favor, and so it's just like they're putting this aggression down.
That's so rude.
Oh no! I mean, that's gonna help equalize it even more. But it's just that thing of like they're putting down the aggression, but while Goosedra is looking to fight, Pikachu is trying to farm here. Like, and so they are just being able to keep up, even though they are dying. Like, they are just being able to keep it. Like, yeah. They're just being able to keep up this farm and keep on par. So those early aggressions are meaning less and less.
What's been interesting to see when it comes to this aggression and who the kills are landing on top of, and on both sides, the majority, the lion's share, are falling onto the jungle as well as the mid. You have to wonder who that's going to benefit more. We do see Stygian Beacon starting to charge up, starting to power up right now. Are members of Goosedra, Rivers of Buke going to catch them though, maybe reward them a bit too much. Further over aggression separated between the two. Kabrakan gonna put up his walls, gonna put down the winds, but gonna fall nonetheless to Servant. Double kill there, not actually for one player, but nonetheless for the members of Pikachu Esports. Here, the mids have joined the battle. Could have been some trouble here. Evade and punish, but you're punishing yourself, my friend. You're quite low. Need to exit that fight. Will they have the ability? Rolling Thunder, not quite able to find the mark, and that Glyph of Pain is going to be able to dissuade them from any further aggression. Pikachu Esports gonna find 1 kill, 2 kills actually, I think, on a Dutcher as well, and managed to equalize this once again.
I would have liked a Gold Fury call off the back of that with Pikachu. They know they forced Goosedra back, but they seem to be taking once again more passive. Maybe because they recognize Goosedra are trying to be aggressive, so they know they can probably just wait and be defensive around these objectives rather than try and like sneak them away. But yeah, like a good fight there. Unfortunately, Demon just misses that apple, so it's not going to be able to land and confirm even more kills. But
unfortunate.
I don't know. I think there was also a bit of hesitation there because I feel like if Kabakan used his Tectonic Shift earlier to lock down that Erlang Sen before they got to the Rivers of Butte, but I think that fight could have gone a lot differently. But I think they were just hoping they could get the kill without having to use a lot of ults.
Maybe trying to change it up and make up for lost time now here because Kabrakan's here. Kabrakan trying to do as much damage as possible. Tremor's down, but does still have quite a bit to spare. Golden Apple this time, perfectly on the mark. Gonna find 2. Scroll the first to fall. Dutcher afterwards. Final Judgment. What's that gonna do for you, buddy? You've been judged unworthy. Retreat on back to Fountain before we kill you next.
Unfortunately, Pikachu was all grouped up for that Final Judgment, but just as he launches it, they all somehow get this telepathic message.
Mighty sense.
To step, and it was just, oh, that's so unfortunate. I've been in that situation so many times where it's just like, okay, this is gonna hit, and then they just somehow step out the way final second. So be like unfortunate there, but also like now that we're 12, it's still only 12 minutes in, which is pretty ridiculous. Still quite early on. But I think it's getting to that thing now where Goosedra is now keeping on trying to be aggressive, but they can't do it. And it is going to be a Pikachu pickup there for the Stygian Beacon.
It's just the same story as before. It doesn't feel like... It feels like Goosedra's really ignoring that as a factor. Ult for ult there, going to make sure to negate the CC from the Blades of Retribution. When they're left alone here, the carries not quite too scary to each other at the very least. Not intent on looking for any solo kills. They're more so letting their other members of the team facilitate those kind of fights. But I don't know. Now I'm a bit worried here. Goosedra can't let their momentum slip out of their hands. They were doing so well in forcing the issue, but now the issue might be forced onto them. Look how much damage that combination does.
Yeah, Discordia, I think, not having Discordia passive yet.
Oh, no!
No.
He's gonna match it.
Good Aegis.
That's gonna put him out of the fight. If they get one on him and they're trying for it, gonna be reaching a bit too far there. Could put yourself into trouble if Dutch finds some more damage onto you. Demon's gonna have to retreat on out with the quickness, because at this point as well, another fight coming on here in the jungle. Seems like there's nothing for it though, a complete nothing burger. It seems like everyone was going to die there. I don't know how everyone scraped by.
Yeah, good timed Aegis there by Foff, able to survive that golden apple. And yeah, like good, like a perfect blink there as well by Score to be able to get out of the Jods. If that was like half a second later, he would have been caught out by the Erlang's basic attack. So good there, but unfortunately, IM4. Oh no.
Just, you know, if the Earthshaker doesn't work, try again. Gonna be trying from the back. Here is Varus. Solid damage. The blink from the tier. Far too little, far too late, my friend. Unfortunately, he's gonna have to watch your carry go down underneath the tier 1 tower. That's going to be a nice pickup for Pikachu eSports and might just open up the Gold Fairy if they decide to go for it. But Goosedra, not one to be, you know, one-up, going to go for the Pyromancer on the other side. But they do have 2 members of Pikachu that could respond, and indeed they will, looking to contest. Going to force the drop, might force the issue. Here's advanced solid damage. Rivers Rebuke as well. Wins for Shamash. Oh, so close! It really is like they have a spidey sense. Lawbringer onto the Gold Fairy. It's quite low. Pikachu going to secure that. And now it's just easy pickings here for the tier. Those heals won't save you. Krakatoa gonna find that kill. Be on the killing spree now. Unfortunately, Goosedra, by all means, lost that fight on both sides of the map.
Yeah, I don't really... I didn't get a proper see. I don't know why Goosedra dropped it. I know there were people on the way. There was the mid and the Yamoja on the way. But I feel like with Scroll being able to zone out, they might have been able to step up. But I think they're a step back, but I can't make too confident a call there. Pikachu, right call on making the goal theory. They did choose and risk it maybe getting stolen with the Lawbringer from Tier, but unfortunately, Tier being very focused on defense right now, did not have the Glad Shield at that point, so was not enough damage to follow through with Capture. Good bit of disruption, like, was close to getting a kill, unfortunately, but his cooldowns were just down for a bit too long.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see. I mean, naturally, you have to imagine that Pikachu's feeling a bit more confident about these objectives, having had the Stygian Beacon be their first one to go to them. You have to, like, Goosedra is ignoring this as a factor, it seems. Gotta wonder if they're going to be, you know, shaking their fists and regretting that later, because it's spelling a bit of an issue for them when it comes to the objective game. And at this point, if you're not winning the kill game, you're not winning the objective game, you're not winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, the lead is now spooling towards Pikachu's favour, but Tier might be in a bit of trouble.
Lawbringer going to find him some distance, but going to at least ensure his life at this point.
Yeah, it is like... Ooh, okay, no, they are going to...
You wouldn't doubt it, right? Pikachu has
unfortunately, a lot of wards in this side of the jungle mean Foff and Cab get caught out.
All the members now gravitating towards the jungle, in fact, of the solo lane side. Will a Fire Giant dance be called 16 minutes in? Have to imagine Pyro's what the apple of everyone's eye is. But Demon said, I got an apple of my own, and I want to give that to someone instead. Meanwhile, in the dual lane, they're in a simulation. They're acting like it's just another regular day here. We're level 5. We're not actually playing a team fight game. Could be some trouble, though. Pulled back in here is Dutch. Gonna try to find some aggression of his own instead of retreating. And now the Fearless, solid damage there, gonna enforce the beads. Krakatoa gonna drop 4 at both tower. Rivers Rebuke gonna catch 1. It's the separation game, and they're winning it. Solid kill there on to Blonde Boy. At this point, it's unsustainable. Apple just gonna run over some minions, I think. A bit off the mark. Lawbringer gonna potentially look for some displacement, but solid driving strike to match. Drop kick him on back in, though. There's displacement on all sides here. Pikachu, though, not feeling too much worse for it. Hercules still at full health. Rollins can just simply walk on in. It's not going to be an issue. And they're just continuing that as the Pyromancer gets picked up here. Now, here's Advance. Going to try to use it to your advantage, maybe to regain a bit of momentum. Blink on in, but pushed on back. Could be in a bit of trouble. Tectonic Shift not going to find the mark. In fact, Demon's going to get it there. Solid work. Tower going to maybe find some more shots on you. Varus going to pick up that kill onto the tier. Riptide just going to be more of a nuisance at this point. Servant Not quite the threat you might hope for, at the very least. But he's being chased all the way back to the tower. Buddy, come on, don't get yourself killed. There's a Hercules lurking. Decision Beacon opening up soon. Pikachu really have opened up this game, though, for their favor.
I mean, early on that fight, a beautiful wall once again by Servant being able to knock it down. That fall from
Oh, aggression, though!
Oh.
Look at that! That was a fantastic move! Might have not been able to get the finisher, though. Krakatoa gonna find a kill on a scroll. Might be a 2-for-1 special, not a trade that I like. That's a GameStop deal if I've ever seen one.
So last game, Goosedra was super passive. Now they are just running back, like... Scroll. There was the initial fight, and Scroll had re-engaged 3 times after that to try and get another kill. Every time resulted in the death of one of his teammates. So it's... I'm just thinking that, like, at what point, when you're hitting your head against a brick wall, do you think, okay, maybe we just step back now? Like, I respect the aggression. I respect, okay, they are close, it is within sight. But it's just that thing of just like, just step back. You have farm coming up. You don't have to fight this. You're just giving over more of a lead.
No, you're absolutely correct. He really is throwing his friends to the wolves before he decides to take a dip in the fountain himself. Now the Oni Fury going to be looked at. No problem here for Pikachu. Objective and teamfight domination spells the score. 19 minutes, 8-17 in Pikachu eSports' favor. Solid, almost 8K gold lead, 10K on the XP side. It's looking rough. Who do we think, Matlock, is the hope of Goosedra to bring themselves back?
If Dutcher with his second relic gets a Phantom Shell.
No, it's not even the god. It's just the shell. The shell's the.
They need the shells. They need an answer to these wolves. If Foth, Tyr, and Cab, and well, if they keep on getting locked down by these wolves, they just don't have an answer. They need an escape.
That's the issue, you know. I wouldn't get to really mention it, but that's been the issue with the comps since the P's and B's phase. Is the fact that not many of them are quite capable without expending a lot of resources, such as the Lawbringer on this tier, who's now under quite a bit of pressure. Gonna see it right there. Oh no, the Blades at max range. Gonna be able to find him. Unstoppable right now is the carry. Link for the drop kick, not gonna quite find it. We're seeing a lot of attempts at displacement, but they're never quite going well for Goosedra. Mounted archery, final judgment.
Good Aegis.
Damage there. Might be able to find it on the demon, but he's playing a bit wily. Blonde Boy gonna find the kill. Return there onto 4 from Varus, and now we do see that Pikachu's rotating in. Big Rock gonna find a bounce back, but not too much damage here on this Cabrakan. Looking
and while this is happening, Fire Giant at sub 4K health. It's going
They're trying to go for it. Varus gonna find the kill on a Dutcher. It does seem they're gonna be able to, in fact, grab it. Pikachu now swinging things even further in favor of Pikachu eSports. Blonde Boy, nothing to do but retreat out of this one. It's a full health Hercules staring you down.
Yeah, unfortunately, a beautifully timed Aegis there by Discordia means they can survive in the fight a little bit longer, and means Goose have to use even more cooldowns to finish it off, and that just lets Varus able to clean up a couple more kills there. So excellently timed relics there, and a good recognition by Pikachu that they don't have to fully commit to the fight. They can go to Fire Giant.
There goes Scroll, and there might be Tyr up next. Gonna have the Lawbringer again defensively, and that's not how you want to see that ability be used. Unfortunate that Plasma really can't seem to find their stride. Dusher might be taking a stride back to the fountain, buddy. There goes Krakatoa popping off once again. Mid Phoenix going to be next on the mark. Final judgment. Assault here on a servant, but it's not going to be enough. Phoenix will indeed fall. With 2 down at the deficit, they might look to push this all the way. Krakatoa, double kill. Divine at this point. Titan now under attack. They have damage. It's the damage core, in fact, of Goosedra. Can they resist their efforts? Driving strike back to the team. Evade. You might be punished. Roland's going to find the kill there on a Blonde Boy. At this point, Scroll's return, though. Wins the Shamash. Could be finding you some good damage. Going to find the kill on a Varus before being dropped himself. I'm going to find his own kill, but not before he's taking a dip to the fountain. Dutcher is back. It's like an action movie. They're coming 1v1. Dutcher pulled out of the fountain, only to watch Roland's die in it. And Pikachu eSports, not the most clean way to go, but gonna find it 2-0 over Goosedra.
Yeah, just a good clean finish there by Pikachu. They're able to pick off Scroll, and so desync death timers and just able to put pressure where they can. Cabrakan unfortunately steps a bit too far up and is able to get caught and has to use a lot to escape there. There was a lot of like Goosedra did what we wanted, and they like, okay, no more being passive, we become aggressive.
They did it too much.
And then they just forget, like, they're in the goal look scenario. They need to find that right in the middle. Like,
Moderation is key.
Like, I'm going to talk about the Wolves first, just because, once again, Servant, excellent gameplay in both. Like, the fact that like, I don't think you had to ban the Yamota in game 2 to, like, I understand letting the Yamota through once again.
Yeah.
But you got screwed over in the first game by the Wolves. And I don't know if you noticed this. In the end, Cab did get a second relic. Do you want to know what second relic he got?
Do tell.
He got Sundering Spear.
Why?
Because it's like, okay,
That's-
Yamota had a phantom. Yeah, Yamota had a phantom cell to deal with Cab's walls. Cabacan did not get a shell. There was not a shell to be seen on the side of Goosedra. And I really feel like that may have. It wasn't a complete downfall. I mean, Krakatoa going 10-0-7.
Certainly helpful.
Like, that's the first time I've seen. That's the best score I've seen against the Hatchie ever since Hatchie got these buffs. Like,
Yeah.
and that's probably down to the fact that they were able to put down a lot of pressure on this Hatchie early, and they just kept on catching him out with these Rivers of Bukes and kept on getting those good few kills, denying farm. So yeah, I mean, Des can break it down even more, but I think that was just once again Servant is definitely the MVP of that set for me.
It's I would certainly agree with you. It's once again the idea that you had a vision, they executed on it. Unfortunately, to the detriment there of the Goosedra. Indeed, all heads were lopped off. They're seared. It's over. But maybe they can hopefully learn from their fights there and come back in. We're gonna toss the desk now, though. I've been D'Lo here with Matlock. Let's toss it on over to the desk. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Man, what a game 2, huh? I mean, Goosedra took everything that they had to learn from game 1, improved on it, and then it still ends like this. Omega, what happened?
Well, honestly, I think they were listening to the live stream. This is a recording, but it was like they were listening to live stream. They heard that I said they needed to go aggressive. I think they took it a bit too seriously. I mean, that game was they just constantly kept attacking. I understand what they were trying to do, but I think their relics showed they didn't respect the Yemoja. I just don't think they respected it. They picked a Hachi, they picked a Gabrakan, and they picked a Thoth into Yemoja, who had an amazing first game. And they didn't even pick a Phantom's shell. I understand that shells were going quite big, and Blink was really good for their team as a whole, with Gilgamesh, Gabrakan, and Tyr. But I feel like they needed a Sunder. They needed that shell. I'm not entirely sure what else they could have done maybe better, but I think they just needed to have a bit more respect for iServant.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also a bit more on the, I guess, macro side, I'm not quite sure. But while there was so much more confidence on the side of Goosedra for the first 10 to 15 minutes, which also paid off as well. They were actually ahead this game. The way Pikachu eSports is just able to push their little wins and just extrapolate them into so much more than they should normally be is just insane to see for me. Like, you see how Goosedra just takes so much more aggression, so many more kills early game. Stroll is all over the map, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He doesn't get inactive. He ganks, he tries to push leads, he tries to get his team into it. And then it just all turns around because Goosedra get like 1 or 2 good ganks, and they just push it. They push it so hard that they just take that lead back in the matter of a few minutes. It's insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pikachu, yet again, almost had a perfect game. Again, I think it comes down to the game knowledge and communication with each other. I mean, they won a team fight, and rather than looking at maybe an objective first, I think they recognized everything was down. So what are they going to do? A 4-man push into their jungle. They took every single camp just to put them back as much as they can. And then what do? They make these massive fights, all based around a single tower. Just to get every inch of gold they possibly can. And honestly, I think that's the best way to play. It almost looks like just farm, and be confident and dominant in these fights. If you're gonna win a fight, make use of it. And I think they recognize. I think Goosedra did a good job. They decided to go with a bit more early game pressure, a bit more early game fights. And I think Pikachu actually respected that. So what they did, they farmed. They got to mid game, they got to the mid-late game, and yeah, they at that point they started winning team fights. As honestly, I feel was a bit of a draft diff, but nonetheless, I think both teams did pretty well.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a draft diff. As we can go back to league standings, you can see Pikachu eSports, they will take the top spot. I believe they were 4th before this game. Goosedra actually not moving at all, but yeah, that's how it looks now. There is still one game to play for this week. It's Skull Kings versus Kids Kittens, as we can see. Do you think this is a big deal for Pikachu or Goosedra this game?
Oh, to win this game? Yeah, I think so. I think there are some quite dominant teams in UD who are doing really well, and I think every single point is gonna make a big difference in this league table. So to go 2-0 is quite big for them.
All right, yeah, for sure. Now we have heard casters talk about it a little bit, but my favorite topic of any set, who do you think is MVP? Do we agree with the Ice Servant pick here, or is there someone else?
Oh, it's a close one, honestly, because I generally think Varus did absolutely
Oh, yeah.
amazing. But I really did like Ice Servant